Welcome to the tutorial on the School Safety and Security Related Infrastructure Grant. The competitive grant overview outline will consist of an introduction, the eligibility, the allowable uses, the RFP inclusions, the timeline, reporting, and question and answer. Introduction. On June 1st, 2023, the Nebraska legislation appropriated $10 million for a competitive grant program. Request for proposals for the competitive school security related infrastructure grants. The purpose is to bolster safety and security measures in school districts in Nebraska, with the focus on enhancing physical security infrastructure and associated technology, as well as providing essential safety equipment. Eligibility. School districts. Any school district may apply for this grant. Educational service units. An educational service unit that has entered into a contract for security-related infrastructure with a non-public school may apply for a grant to support the contract. An educational service unit may submit a separate application for each non-public school for which the educational service unit has entered into a contract for security-related infrastructure. Allowable uses of funds listed, but not limited to: surveillance equipment, door locking systems, double entry doors for a school building, visitor management systems, ground lighting, safety film for glass and exterior doors and side lights, handheld radios to aid in communication during school situations, notification systems, control devices to restrict access to areas as needed for security purposes, screening devices, fencing to secure playgrounds, automatic external defibrillators, bleeding control kits, other physical security equipment or security-related technology. RFP inclusions consist of needs assessment survey, stakeholder engagement, data to support any assertion that a challenge from the previous 3 school years has increased the need for a security-related infrastructure grant. Examples of challenges include, but are not limited to, a recent disaster, a high rate of mental health needs and/or lack of mental health providers, chronic absenteeism, poverty, or a high rate of community or school violence. Additional RFP inclusions consist of program narrative, how funds from the grant will support safe and healthy student outcomes, the rationale behind selecting the proposed project. For school districts, how grants funds will be divided as evenly as possible among all schools in the school district. Any anticipated challenges for the implementation of the proposal and a plan to overcome those challenges. Lastly, RFP inclusions consist of a timeline. A timeline for the full implementation of the project is required. Sustainability plan. A description is required of plans to sustain the project after the grant funds have been expended. Evaluation plan. An evaluation plan will measure the impact of the project. Timeline, duration of the grant. Any grant funds awarded must be obligated within 1 year of the date the funds were received by the school district or educational service unit, or be returned to the department. Grant opening date will be February 14th, 2024. Closing date will be March 14th, 2024. Grant award notifications will go out April 3rd, 2024. Reporting on your project. The school safety team will oversee the allocation of school safety grant funds to schools. Schools are required to detail how the grant money was spent and indicate any unspent funds that need to be returned. Schools must ensure that all supporting documentation is available for verification purposes if requested. Questions and answers. Submit your questions to the dedicated link that will be provided by the School Safety and Security Director in an email or on the NDE website. However, if there is a question about a project qualifying as an allowable use, this can only be determined by the evaluation committee. Therefore, please submit the project in your application so the committee can make the determination. The purpose of this link is to capture your queries and compile them into a comprehensive Q&A document to be shared with all schools. This ensures prompt responses to your questions, providing immediate assistance when needed. The Nebraska Department of Education and the School Safety and Security Team would like to thank you for your patience on this competitive grant.